Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Annie Dormuth, who is Provincial Director for Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Thanks, Annie, for joining us today.
Of course, always great to talk with you, Mario.
All right, big news from the Alberta government and Premier Jason Kenney yesterday on the easing of some public health restrictions across the province of Alberta, including, of course, the getting rid of immediately the vaccine passport. Just from a CFIB perspective, your thoughts on the announcement that Kenney made yesterday?
Well, definitely this is a great first step toward economic recovery and, of course, hopefully the last reopening plan that business owners will have to see and deal with. It's really important that, of course, this is pretty much 3.0 or 4.0 of a reopening plan that we have seen after nearly 2 years of ongoing restrictions and coming up to the 2-year anniversary, I would have to say, of the first COVID-19 restrictions. So definitely some positive news on that front. However, I think if you ask any type of business in the hospitality industry, they much rather would have seen the complete easing of restrictions on capacity, liquor service cutoff, and closing times, or even, allowing entertainment activities in their business before the removal of the restriction exemption program or the proof of vaccination policy.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious on the impact this is all going to have, even in the short term. I know that you folks mentioned that I think 27% of businesses are at normal sales, 21% are considering bankruptcy, $165,000 plus in new debt they've accumulated. Man, what will this do to, I guess, help a lot of those businesses continue on?
Well, like I said, the announcement is a first step to economic recovery, but what was missing from yesterday's announcement, I think, were step maybe 2 and 3 of a full economic recovery plan. One of them, which includes, a plan to really address consumer confidence. For nearly 2 years, we have been told it's not safe to go to a gym, it's not safe to dine with more than 6 or 10 people at a table. All of that has really hard hit these businesses where they have simply not been able to really fully economically recover throughout this entire pandemic. As well, what was missing, I believe, from yesterday's announcement was also a stay open plan. As I mentioned, this was not the first reopening plan that business owners have seen. And really what we are looking for is more certainty and a stay open plan from government. And really, looking at key metrics, if, possible restrictions would be warranted, what those metrics would be. Are we talking about hospitalization? Are we talking about case numbers? All of that really needs to be addressed by government in order to, again, fully get onto the path of economic recovery for small businesses.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the key things, right? When you're talking about a uncertainty, who knows? We've been through this up and down for the last 2 years, right? Everything's good, and then let's open up everything again, and then a couple of months later, everything is not good anymore. Let's close it down again. Do you think this this sentiment and this strategy of lockdowns, do you think we're done with them? Do you think governments across the country, and especially in Alberta, have learned that, you can't do this anymore?
Well, we heard a little bit of messaging from the Alberta government on that front where, Premier Kenney even, did talk about the healthcare capacity, saying that, of course, this is something that does need to be addressed. So I think as we move forward, definitely business owners are hoping this is the last reopening plan that we will see. And of course, the blunt force of instruments of restrictions and closures should be used as a last resort. But it's really up to governments. Again, this probably won't be the last variant that we see here in Canada or across the world. So business owners are definitely looking forward to a path out of this, and also a path not to get back into it, I would have to say. And that comes with a stay open plan from all governments across Canada.
I'm curious about your thoughts on this. I've talked to a couple of friends, from a psychological point of view, the masks. The masks represent, that as long as people are, say, mandated to wear masks, there's still creates that uncertainty out there. Well, there's got to be a reason I'm wearing the mask, and maybe it isn't safe. Well, maybe I shouldn't go out to that restaurant or that retail store, etc. Do you think, the path forward includes getting rid of the mandatory mask requirement?
Well, it's interesting you asked that question because just today, actually, our monthly survey did go out to members across the entire country, including here in Alberta, where we are asking those specific questions about whether or not business owners support these certain restrictions being removed. We hope to provide that data in the coming days here, as well as we are asking very important questions with regards to business owners' mental health. Of course, again, coming up to nearly a 2-year anniversary of all of this, it is definitely taking a toll on business owners.
Yeah. All right, Annie, thanks for joining us again today.
Of course, anytime, Mario.
All right, that was Annie Dormuth, who is Provincial Director for Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.